Hello people, my name is Avery Miller, and today we have something different. You know, every so often I find something that I think entails its own video about itself besides Game Glitch, and it's rare. It doesn't happen often, I will say, but it's happened again, and through the power of fair use, I'm going to do a bit of an expose. And today, that thing to complain about is spirit science, man, I was gonna insult it somehow here, but I feel like that's somehow gonna make my point less valid. So, you know, I'm gonna keep an open mind. It's a very strange YouTube channel. Not in the good way, and I needed to make a video about it. I've been told making this video is not gonna be easy. Mr. James made a video about it, and he warned me.
Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Avery Miller has suggested that I make a video about spirit science. And my answer is simply no. I'm not going to do that. And neither should you, Avery Miller.
But I didn't listen. And for that, I'm going to be sorry. Note that I'm not criticizing it because of religion or something. Notice the spirit in the title. No. Although I attempt to do that, go Bill Nye over here, I'm not. But Avery, what is spirit science, you ask? It's a channel about... Well, I don't know what it's about. You can tell my uncertainty based off how I keep describing it. I mean, goodness gracious, at first glance, it looks like it's just an animated science channel, when in reality, it's just a channel that has a tendency to publish lies. These are some pretty big accusations. Surely I have a lot of evidence to back up all these claims of a channel publishing lies, you know? Well, I do, because I watched the video they have featured as their channel trailer, and if this is a rule of thumb on how their videos are, I'd say that these aren't going to be very accurate. I will be citing all of my sources, so keep a lookout for those. And actually, speaking of sources, some sources inside the spirit science machine have told me that it is likely this video will get claimed by the SS. Oh god, I mean spirit science, not... Okay. But I'm not here to judge these videos by their thumbnail, and I'm not going to antagonize anybody. I have a pretty open mind, so let's watch it and find out. Secrets of the Moon, let's go. You know you're gonna get a good video when the first ad that plays when you watch it is an ad for Gaia, I think how you say it, which I haven't really fully looked into yet, but it's like some sort of thing, and they have a thing like a show about aliens and stuff.
Man, I love the moon. You say the moon is masculine or feminine?
Spiritually speaking, I've most often heard that it embodies female energy.
Me too, but we have Mother Nature full of life and creation. Wouldn't the moon be the father?
Yeah.
Okay, now for some reason the one guy reminds me of I Hate Everything's voice, but that's completely unrelated. I don't have a problem with them discussing how the moon is masculine or feminine or both or who cares? It's a rock, and that's just completely arbitrary. So let's just keep going here.
The moon is actually neither, which makes me think it must be more like a cousin.
Cousin.
But perhaps what's more curious about old Lady Luna is that her existence has actually never been explained by modern science.
Now, here's where we get to the good stuff. Right off the bat, there are quite a few leading theories on how the moon came to be, from the current leading theory, which is called the giant impact hypothesis, which basically states that a large mass of rock about the size of Mars hit Earth, and it made a bunch of dirt fly up into the sky, then condensed over time into the moon. So science can explain the moon. Let's get that straight right off the bat.
Who needs science to explain things?
Everyone needs science to explain things.
But isn't it interesting that using science we can build nuclear weapons, but cannot even explain this most ancient entity that floats at our doorstep?
Okay, nuclear weapons have nothing to do with scientific theories on how the moon was formed, and we have a good idea of how the moon was formed. As I said a second ago, it's a theory, of course. We probably will never be able to figure it out for sure unless we travel back in time, I guess. This is like all of this info is a Google search away.
What's stranger, the moon is actually far too big to be a natural satellite of the Earth. If I'm not mistaken, there is not a single other planet in our solar system whose moon compares in ratio to our own Earth-Moon ratio.
But yeah, okay, wait. Okay, this guy is mistaken because the moon isn't too big to be a natural satellite because a satellite is just something that orbits something else, presumably a planet, I guess in this case. And as far as I know, there isn't a size limit. Like, I think the Armored Skeptic has a video talking about this same video, which you guys should check out. He goes more in depth, I do believe. I haven't seen that one in a while. I'm just mentioning that now because I just realized that I'm making a video about the same video he made it on, so that doesn't make any sense.
The current leading theory in science is that something like a Mars-sized planet-like rock came out of nowhere and hit the Earth, and then it became the moon. And when those physics didn't work out, they came up with a new theory.
What?
That
What are you talking about? The physics do work out. These theories are still the leading theories. They still work out. The words being said right now just doesn't make any sense.
Needless to say, the physics still didn't work.
The physics work.
Facts. I'm goddamn up.
Have you ever heard anything about it being hollow?
Hollow?
Yeah.
I'm actually... the hollow moon theory. I'm very familiar with the hollow moon theory in my time, and from Wikipedia, the free encyclopedia, no scientific evidence exists to support the idea. I think that's really all you need to know about that one.
In November of 1969, NASA crashed a lunar module into the moon, causing the equivalent of 1 ton of TNT. NASA said that the moon reverberated like a gong, and it rang like a bell for over 4 hours.
4 hours.
It vibrated in a way as if it were hollowed out, with giant hydraulic damper struts inside of it.
Wowsy wheezy.
Okay, so not surprisingly enough, this part is completely ridiculous, although not as ridiculous as you would think, still ridiculous. So this story about NASA crashing stuff into the moon is actually true, which is interesting. As far as I can see, it's true at least. On April 14th, not November 1969, at 8:09 p.m. EST, part of the Saturn V rocket that had been previously used and discarded was essentially repurposed by being crashed into the moon in order to more understand the moon's composition based off how much the moon would vibrate from the impact. It did cause the moon to move more than expected, and according to NASA's own website, it is a .gov address. Some NASA scientists did say that it vibrated like a gong due to the crash. So, wow, maybe this video is true after all. Wait, no it isn't, because it's not hollow. The fact that the moon moved more than they expected it to can largely be attributed to the fact that there isn't water on the moon to absorb vibrations like there is on Earth, and that's according to PopSci. I mean, this is the reason the NASA scientists said that were just because it was a sign of the times, they weren't expecting it to, they weren't sure, what they were going to find. And it surprised them. If no one ever said it had hydraulics in it, as far as I can see, and if somebody did say that, they meant it as hyperbole, not literally. Because, okay, one of these jokers is going to come run back and say, oh, look, this guy from NASA said it has hydraulics inside of it. It's hyperbole, okay? If somebody did say that, it's like, you see what I mean? It's almost like the moon is hollow and it has gigantic hydraulic gears inside of it. They're joking, right? Hey, it's surprising how much it vibrated. Do I have to explain that? Deep breaths now, deep breaths.
This means that at least some of the rocks on the moon are most likely synthetic. I wouldn't say it's illogical to come to the conclusion that it could be artificially created.
Most likely, yeah.
That's really intense.
Okay, it is illogical. Oh my god. I've clocked out at this point. Wait, look at this water bottle. It's clear. And even NASA confirms that it's clear. It's almost like there isn't even any water in it, and the water isn't real, but actually a universe-wide conspiracy. It is illogical that the moon has been artificially created, because that would entail that aliens, right? Aliens created the moon. That's what you're saying. This means that there were living things, presumably, that created the moon to float around the Earth for some reason. He knows the moon craters intimately, guys. He studies the moon craters every day. Every day he gets out his telescope and he studies the moon craters and he says, wow, the moon's hollow. And, oh my god, in a second here, they quote David Icke. I'm not sure if you're familiar with who David Icke is, but he is the man who likely attributed to creating the lizard people theory, the concept that the higher-ups in governments and societies and such are actually shape-shifting lizard people, and that includes Justin Bieber, by the way. I'm gonna stop watching this. Just 3 minutes in, and not because I don't have any more points to make or to prove, because I do, but because if I don't stop, I'm gonna go completely insane. The rest of this video is like, it gives a bit of a fact. It's like a pseudoscience thing, and then it gets exaggerated to a bit, and then it just goes completely insane and
talk to me like you're personal. Like you don't interrupt me, you know?
Blames aliens, godly aliens though, not just aliens. Their method is to just spout all this information over and over and over and over to the point where you just like, I don't know, it doesn't make any sense. They're just all these buzzwords over and over again. And I mean, I gave them a chance, I really did, but it's just complete gibberish, and the fact that these guys have so much of positive support, it's a little ridiculous. If you want to believe in this stuff, you can, but I'm just trying to say that it doesn't have any scientific basis at all. There's a lot of comments talking about how all this makes sense and stuff on their videos, and I mean, as I said, believe whatever you like, but this stuff just doesn't appear to be true. I mean, this is all just not real. I could say it makes sense that the moon is a UFO that got covered in dirt, and I could make a video about it, and now the moon just floats up there in the sky, and it would be just as probable as the moon being hollow and filled with hydraulic things. I mean, I don't know, maybe that's the case, but if it is, then like everything in science would change. It would affect religion. It would imply that something built the moon using technology that we don't have yet. So this isn't fact. That's what I'm trying to say. It isn't based in truth, at least in any way that makes sense. Like I said earlier, there's a Wikipedia page for the hollow moon theory, and in the first few sentences it says, and I quote, "No scientific evidence exists to support the idea." And that has sources. Look at all these. Also, spirit science. Can you please just not try to take down my video? This is covered under fair use. Hate to get the FUPA involved, you know. Spirit Science isn't the only channel that publishes, in my opinion, stupid, unproven stuff. There's channels like this which talk about how the Minion movie is demonic, and I think that is probably more likely than the moon being hollow, although still not true, as far as I know, but that's another story for another time. I talked about Mr. James here earlier, and you should check out his channel. It's really some of the funniest satire I've seen in a long time. Now, I did a bit of a similar reaction video to a Netflix show a while back, and you can check that out if you want. Also, check out my show called Game Glitch, where I look at glitches in video games. I upload new videos every Monday, typically Game Glitch, but if it's not Game Glitch, it'll be something good, that's for sure. And lastly, man, this is a long video. I found a channel a few weeks ago called Cake Coyote. I'm not sure if I'm pronouncing that correctly, but you know, they do some art sort of stuff, and they're almost at 200 subscribers, so if you think you'd find that relatively interesting, check that out. And as always, sleep with your third eye open. There you go. That's good. Eggs are hollow, guys. Is this a coincidence? That an Indian tribe thinks that the moon's an egg? And oh my gosh! This proves it! This proves it! If the moon's an egg, the eggs are hollow. How did I not think of this? Oh my god.
Generations before our time.
I'm not sure how it fits, but...
Oh my god, I'm turning into Michael. I gotta tell people, I gotta, oh, frick, I gotta do... Guys! Yeah? Did you know the moon's hollow? What? The moon's actually hollow, what do you think?